Yo, what's up, squad? You won't believe the fire lineup we've got today. We're talking 20 insane new games that'll make you double take like, wait, is this even real? From jaw-dropping graphics to mind-bending mechanics, these titles are straight up next level. So buckle up, grab your snacks, and let's dive into the games that'll blow your freaking mind. Yo, the new trailer for Plan 8 just dropped. This is an open-world, sci-fi MMO shooter from Pearl Abyss, the squad behind Black Desert Online. The vibe is all about humans taking on these sick mech enemies. Plus, they got Minlay on board, the legend who helped create the OG Counter-Strike. You know it's going to be fire with him involved. The devs are hyping up these exosuits that give your character some wild abilities. Like in the trailer, there's one that lets you straight up fly. Since it's an MMO, you know there's going to be squad play and all that multiplayer interaction where you can squad up or take on other players. It's coming to both PC and consoles, and they're aiming to drop it around mid-2025. Pulse Studios just announced their new first-person horror game, and it's going to be wild. Set in the near future, you take on the role of a game tester who has to power through terrifying scenarios created by a rogue AI. Each scenario is based on your deepest, darkest fears, so you're in for some serious chills. The game throws all kinds of horror subgenres at you. 1 minute, you're up against creepy cults. The next, you're in medieval combat, and then you're stuck trying to solve some seriously tough puzzles. It's all running on Unreal Engine 5 with cutting-edge tech like Lumen, Nanite, and MetaHuman, so expect visuals that will blow your mind. The game is set to release in 2025, so brace yourself for a wild experience. Delta Force is making a comeback, and this time it looks like we're ditching the slow-mo tactics for pure chaos, Battlefield style. The latest trailer throws us straight into the action with Havoc Warfare mode, where the fight's not just on the ground. Nah, we're talking battles in the air, on land, and even at sea. Basically, if you can stand on it or fly over it, you can blow it up. The devs are hyping up some massive maps with sick landscapes, plus an arsenal of vehicles from tanks to choppers to boats. So yeah, it's gonna be one wild ride. The game's set in the near future, which means we're getting a sprinkle of sci-fi too, like some dope characters rocking high-tech gadgets and gear. Delta Force is almost ready to drop, but they're keeping the release date on the down low for now. It's already gone through a huge test run in China, so you know they're working hard on it. And yep, it's coming to PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Nihil, a Japanese indie studio, just dropped a banger with their latest title, Lost Fragment. It's a first-person survival horror that's got gamers buzzing. In the trailer, we see the main character packing heat with a pistol, creeping through the sketchy, abandoned hospital hallways. The visual vibe is killer. It's like a nod to classic Resident Evil, but with way more detail and a next-level realistic feel. You can tell the devs are going all in on atmosphere. Every sound and shadow feels like it's got you on edge, waiting for something to go down. The gameplay teaser makes it clear. Lost Fragment is shaping up to be a sick survival horror experience with some seriously photorealistic graphics. They haven't spilled much about the story yet, but this game's already grabbing attention. After years of radio silence, id Software finally dropped a sick trailer for the next chapter in the legendary Doom series, titled The Dark Ages. And let me tell you, it's both badass and terrifying. From what I could scope out, this one's shaping up to be a prequel to Doom 2016, where we're gonna dive deep into the downfall of the protagonist's homeland. Yeah, we're talking way before he ever set foot on Mars to wreck demon faces in our dimension. This game's gonna spill the beans on the backstory of one of the OG heroes of first-person shooters and clear up some of those lingering questions we've had since Doom 2016. The trailer also hit us with some gameplay, and man, it's got the same fast-paced, brutal, adrenaline-pumping chaos we've come to love from Doom. Stylistically, it's going hard on the dark vibes, much like Doom 2016. Expect some serious demon-slaying action when it drops in early 2025 on Xbox Series, PC, and PlayStation 5. Out of nowhere, the Titans crash the party, sparking a mass evac. But not everyone makes it out before the chaos hits full throttle. You're thrown into a war zone, caught in the crossfire between these behemoth beasts, and to make things worse, your only daughter's still trapped in the crumbling city. Kong, Survivor Instinct is a slick 2.5D action-adventure where you'll be running and gunning through a hardcore platformer with a dash of Metroidvania. It's all about that survival grind with tight combat and epic exploration. You'll be jacked up with some Monarch tech to mess with the Titans, using their raw power to carve a path through collapsing buildings, toxic spills, and raging fires. Loot up on resources, gear up with weapons, and snag tools to solve gnarly environmental puzzles while fending off enemies, both human and monster alike. It's set to drop in 2025, so get ready for the grind. Ghost of Yōtei is the next level sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, and it got a big reveal during the 2024 State of Play. Set in 1603, you'll step into the shoes of a new protagonist, Atsu, as he treks through the dangerous lands surrounding Mount Tei. From the trailer, the world looks massive. Open world vibes with fresh zones like lush meadows and frozen wastelands. So, what makes Ghost of Yōtei different from its OG predecessor? This time around, players are in for a tougher grind. You've got roaming Ronin squads and hostile factions all gunning for Atsu. The game's dropping early 2025 for both PlayStation 5 and PS5 Pro, with a PC release coming later, but no exact date on that yet. Stay tuned, and I'll keep you in the loop when more news drops. In Towers of Aghasba, you're stepping into the shoes of a returning hero, tasked with leveling up a barren island alongside your tribe. Get ready to grind through a dynamic world, building out dope settlements all over the place and piecing together the island's delicate ecosystem. The real flex in this game? Finding the sweet spot between rebuilding your crew's civilization and keeping the mystical vibes of the island in check so you don't trigger some next-level rage from the local forces. On top of all that, you can squad up with friends thanks to the co-op feature. Whether you're dropping in on their turf or hosting on your own island, teamwork makes the dream work. Towers of Aghasba is dropping late 2024 on PC, PS5, and PS5 Pro, so if this sounds like your jam, go ahead and wishlist it on Steam. Roar Games just dropped their second gameplay trailer for Tenet of the Spark, and it's shaping up to be one wild ride. This isn't your typical action game. Here, you'll be switching between realities and timelines with just a snap. The story's about a boxer who gets seriously messed up in a fight, but along with the injury, he somehow inherits a unique ability from his ancestors, the power to flip between realities. Now, whether this power is real or if our guy's just losing it after that head injury is up for debate, but hey, that's just my theory. As for the gameplay, it's a mix of neon cityscapes and massive metropolises with historical settings like the Viking era. You'll be jumping between time periods to solve different problems, with each era changing everything around you, enemies included. For example, one moment you're dodging bullets in the present, which is a lot harder to deal with than, say, a spear or an arrow. Then bam, you're in another era where guns don't exist and your enemies are just swinging sticks and shooting arrows at you. The devs are hyping up the whole reality switching mechanic, saying it'll let you swap up the gameplay on the fly. 1 second you're in a firefight and the next you're throwing fists or sneaking around. You get the vibe. Visually, the game's got a slick animated style. For some reason, it gives me major Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse vibes. You feel me on that? Tenet of the Spark is set to drop at the end of 2024 on PC and consoles. South Korean devs from NCSoft, the crew behind Guild Wars, are cooking up something big with Project A.I.L.A, a third-person open-world MMO shooter. Set in a sci-fi world with a wild mix of timelines, thanks to a major in-game event, you'll be dropped into a universe where the 21st century meets a wrecked soul and the Byzantine Empire straight out of the 10th century. You'll be facing off against other players, mutants, and demons in intense battles. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, Project A.I.L.A promises cutting-edge visuals and massive 30-kilometer maps with seamless travel, no loading screens, no zones. Expect to cruise around in cars, mechs, and helicopters while you're strategizing your way through both PvP and PvE modes. The devs are aiming to carve out a brand new genre, steering clear of the usual looter shooters and battle royales, mixing up various playstyles, and taking cues from their past NCSoft titles. It's dropping for PC and consoles, with a release date set for late 2025. Zahid Ali Gilani just dropped some fresh gameplay for his cyberpunk hack-and-slash Demon Core, and it's giving off serious Metal Gear Rising vibes. In the clip, the main character is pulling off insane wall runs and slicing through enemies like butter. The combat system? Yeah, it's all about fast-paced action where you've got to be quick with those button combos to keep up. Think of it like a futuristic Witcher, but with a cyberpunk twist and a whole lot of demon slaying. You'll be switching between different combat stances, each one unlocking its own set of brutal combos. Oh, and did I mention there are 5 different katanas to choose from? Each one's got its own unique set of stats, so you can tailor your fighting style to your play. The release date is still under wraps, but you can already wishlist Demon Core on Steam. Sniper Elite is back, baby. During the pre-show at Gamescom 2024, we got the drop on the next big thing, Sniper Elite Resistance. This bad boy is dropping in 2025 for PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and will even hit Xbox Game Pass. In Sniper Elite Resistance, you'll dive into a fresh story that runs alongside the events of Sniper Elite 5. This time, you're stepping into the shoes of an OSS agent who's uncovered a secret Nazi weapon so powerful, it could turn the tides of the war. Think stealth, precision, and that intense one-shot, one-kill vibe, but cranked up a notch. Expect a killer single-player campaign with upgraded bullet physics that'll make every shot feel satisfying as hell. The graphics are getting a nice upgrade too. Plus, they're throwing in new propaganda missions, authentic World War II gear that you can fully customize, and that sweet invasion mode where players can jump into each other's games. Multiplayer's also coming back, so get ready for some serious online sniper battles. Bloody Hell Hotel throws you into the shoes of a vampire hotel owner who just woke up after centuries of sleep, only to find his once glorious mansion in ruins. Your job? Turn that rundown castle into a top-tier hotel. You'll need a ton of resources to repair busted furniture, slap up some fresh wallpaper, upgrade appliances, and, most importantly, keep your guests happy. Luckily, the hotel sits on top of a crypt with caves where you can grow crops, raise zombie livestock, and hunt down rare items while fighting off creepy monsters. As you level up, you'll even get to hire staff like chefs, front desk clerks, housekeepers, and more to help you run the joint. But don't forget the vamp life. Guests aren't just bringing in cash for their stay, they're also potential snacks to keep your bloodlust in check. The game is set to drop either late 2024 or early 2025, and it's looking like a wild mix of sim management and action-packed dungeon crawling. If you're into managing chaos with a dark twist, this one's worth keeping an eye on. Ferocious is like a mashup of the classics we all love. Think King Kong meets Jurassic Park, with a modern tactical shooter twist like Crisis. This survival shooter throws you right into heart-pounding combat in dense jungle environments. You're stuck on a mysterious island somewhere in the Pacific, where a distress signal from a group of journalists has drawn you in. But instead of a rescue mission, you walk into a nightmare full of prehistoric predators with a taste for human flesh. As the main character, you'll need to use every combat skill in your arsenal to survive and uncover why this island's dark secrets are being covered up. Expect a wide variety of weapons, stunning graphics, destructible environments, and the chance to explore using different vehicles. And with Unreal Engine 5 powering everything, it's gonna look next-gen for sure. Scheduled for release in early 2025, Ferocious is shaping up to be one intense ride. From the team behind Rogue Factor comes Hell Is Us, an action-adventure game with a semi-open world where brutal melee combat meets an intense need for exploration. Led by the creative director of Deus Ex: Human Revolution, this one has some serious pedigree. Set in a country torn apart by civil war and a wave of disasters, things get even weirder when supernatural creatures show up immune to regular weapons. But the real monster? Humans. Hell Is Us throws you into third-person combat with swords, spears, and axes. Plus, you've got a drone buddy to help in ways that aren't fully clear yet. The devs are also touting a unique exploration system. There's no map, no compass, no quest markers. You're relying purely on your instincts, backed by innovative level design and narrative twists. Carl and Curl are cooking up something special with their survival horror game, Digested. The latest gameplay trailer just dropped, and it's packed with all the wilderness survival vibes you'd expect. You're thrown into the wild with no weapons, just a map and compass to guide you. This one's all about using your wits and navigating the terrain, because finding that evac point is your one and only goal. The developers promise every run will be a fresh challenge. So don't get too comfortable. You'll need to keep switching up your strategies to survive. Mark your calendars. Digested is coming in the first quarter of 2025. Get ready to dive into the action with Spine, a single-player shooter that's all about that rich narrative vibe. Set in a futuristic city turned upside down by a mega corporation's AI, you'll experience an epic clash between powerful factions fighting for control. You play as Red Line, a rebellious street artist who's not just painting the town red, but also taking on the corporate regime. Your sidekick? Spine, a badass combat implant with a mind of its own. Think of it as your digital buddy in this fight for freedom. The game is built on Unreal Engine 5, so expect jaw-dropping visuals and super smooth animations that pull you right into the cinematic chaos. With a blend of intense gunfights and slick melee combat, This game looks like it's going to drop in late 2024 or early 2025. So gear up, because this is one ride you won't want to miss. Get ready for a wild ride with Kingmakers, brought to you by Redemption Road. This game is a totally unique mashup of genres and historical periods. Picture this: medieval England in the 14th century, right in the thick of the bloody Wars of the Roses. But here's the twist. You're not some peasant with a pitchfork. You're a modern-day fighter, leading troops and getting in on the action yourself. The latest trailer shows our hero charging into battle in a pickup truck, blasting knights away with a shotgun like it's just another day. And the chaos doesn't stop there. We're talking about massive battles with tons of soldiers on screen, with up to 1,000 troops under your command. And it's not just about swords and shields. There are tanks, off-roaders, motorcycles, helicopters, and more to crush those medieval foes. You can roll solo or team up with up to 3 friends in co-op mode. Honestly, this might be the most off-the-wall game dropping at the end of 2024. It's got strategy and third-person shooting vibes mixed into one. I mean, who wouldn't want to blast knights with a shotgun or run them over with a tank? That's a fresh concept right there. If you know any games that mix these mechanics, drop those titles in the comments. But something tells me we're treading new ground here. Kingmakers is set to launch on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series, with a release date still under wraps. In the meantime, you can add it to your Steam wishlist and keep an eye out.